A new DCU is just around the corner, and this was, for all intents and purposes, an early marketing campaign to raise awareness about the iconic Superman villain. Does it mean Brainiac will be in the movie? I don't know, but thank you James Gunn for not canceling this show. Yet. This is the story of Harley Quinn Season 5. The highly anticipated Gotham City Sirens collab is a complete bust. What isn't a bust is the opening gala for the Metropolis Superman Museum. The ladies already have their eyes set for its prized possession, and maybe 10 years ago under a different regime it would have been a Darkseid level threat for episode 2, but it's just a baby blanket. Then, when Harley decapitates who could have been a final boss, it would seem nobody needs the Man of Steel. Dr. Quinzel works her magic on Superman, who decides a vacation is in order. Furthermore, it's time for a change of scenery which, unbeknownst to them, directly interferes with Brainiac's OCD. Harley and Ivy are about to violate every centimeter of this condo until King Shark drops off his kids. As such, Harley takes them to a birthday party so that I can plug my Kite Man video if you're curious about Goldilocks. Elsewhere, Ivy is reacquainted with her origin story. Pamela was banging Professor Jason Woodrue back in the day, and it wasn't because she kept on getting stuck somewhere or needed the grades. One day, she surprised him with a fusion between human and plant DNA, baby Frank. Likewise, he surprised her with an early funeral so that his empty-headed peanut brain could monetize her discovery. Pamela had no choice but to become her own lab rat. In any case, they slip into a lab like old times where she straight up murders him. Clayface is flabbergasted his one-man show has worse reviews than Madam Web. He kidnaps Daily Planet editor-in-chief Perry White, writes his own review, and proceeds to impersonate him, which nobody seems to notice. In other news, the plant lady starts freaking out during her presentation and taps into the green to investigate her visions. This is where she discovers Jason has reinvented himself as We Have Swamp Thing at home. Sorry, I mean Floronic Man. The sad thing is, he probably stayed up all night brainstorming that one. Things get dicey, backup arrives, and Harley performs home renovations to save the day. Only for them to get captured by Brainiac. Brainiac was a happy family man until the Superman starter pack entered his life like an unskippable YouTube ad. Despite Planet Colu attaining 99% perfection, it was the 1% that pushed him to pursue a career as an evil hall monitor. With a monkey on his shoulder and planet issues on the other, he raged against imperfection, with Kandor City becoming the first of a vast collection of perfect worlds. He nearly fulfilled his purpose until he stumbled across Earth and its pathetic 8%. Perfecting this dumpster would instill him with a new purpose, which brings us to where we are today. Nevertheless, Lena reminds him about their arrangements, and Harley suddenly finds herself back at home feasting on an unreasonable amount of sustenance. Enter Bruce Wayne's party, a Knives Out mystery. When Quinn threatens to poke out Alfred's eyeballs for not fixing her shower, the lights blink and he's dead on the floor. The world's greatest detective deduces it must be the Clownette. I wonder what gave it away. The lights flash again, followed by an action-packed cameo from Red X, only for him to reveal himself as Nightwing. Before he exacts his revenge on Harley, Bruce basically talks him out of it like a CW show. Here's a twist: the butler faked his death and hired Red X to kill them just to get back at Bruce for never remembering his last name. But a short circuit puts a stop to his tantrum. Lena and Brainiac's partnership has dissolved like most of the United States trade relations. She accuses him of being crazy for conversing with monkey bones. The nutjob refuses to bottle Metropolis until it's perfected, so, with nothing to rule over, Lena takes her business elsewhere. And what does the Daily Planet do with this information? They'll write a play. Better yet, they're going to sing about the final boss and his plans for world domination. While all the paid actors in the audience pretend to enjoy the musical, the truth pierces the veil at last, so it's only fair that they feel the pain of losing a loved one. Frank prepared a message rivaling the length of a long and boring feature film. By the end of it, the combination of his pleasure rag and Ivy's lipstick have germinated into Frankette. Lena assures them Brainiac was behind this, and they teleport onto his ship only to discover the horror of Brainiac hoarding all 5 RTX 5090 chips ever produced. He's given a taste of his own medicine, and would you look at that? Who would have thought you couldn't trust a Luthor? Harley didn't quite get the memo, as desperate times call for desperate measures. As a quid pro quo for helping to rid Metropolis of his drones, Lena abducts Frankette, and then all that power literally gets to her head. Poison Ivy manages to procure Lena's diary. According to a PhD in psychology, Lena is desperately seeking her brother's approval. In other words, Lex Luthor is the only one qualified to talk her out of it like a CW show. Unfortunately, by the time they spring him from prison, Lena had already gone ahead and bottled Metropolis. Somewhere during all that, the clown's psychotic dad tries to harvest her organs for Lena. However, he lacks his daughter's gymnastic skills and is slapped with a funeral. For better or for worse, Harley's mom has already moved on from him, as she cannot wait to meet hot singles in her area. While Lena tears up Metropolis searching for her bald counterpart, Batman Bruce figures out a way to get them onto the Skull Ship. Whatever speech Lex had prepared, it turns out Lena came pre-installed with evil and is just another power-hungry attention seeker. If it weren't for their sibling rivalry, they could have accomplished so much more. Like taking over the universe together. Wait, what? Just like that, Brainiac has 3 new roommates. Elsewhere, Batman and his new Robins punched their ticket to a Morse code machine. Once upon a time, it was used to facilitate unchristian activities, but right now, they're hoping for a miracle. Harley manipulates the siblings against each other like an episode of Succession, which results in Lena charting a course for their funeral in the heart of Planet Kolu. While that's happening, they manage to unshrink themselves and shrink the villains, who then become Frankette's lunch. The final boss is off hallucinating his family, but thankfully, the IKEA arrows point to an escape pod. Even so, there's just too much debris, and everybody's doing face muscle exercises because they're all going to die. Until Superman returns to promote his new movie. I mean, to save the day. That was the story of Harley Quinn Season 5. Make of this what you will, I'm just a messenger.